What's up, Commanders fans? I got some news that I want to tell you, but you're not going to believe it. It's a lot of Commanders fans that believe Terry does not deserve a new contract. And not just a new contract, but a new contract worth over $30 million per year. After all he's done, after the consecutive, not just consecutive, but 5 consecutive back-to-back years of 1,000-yard seasons. Not after he broke the record last season for the most touchdowns in a season with 13. Not after him playing in the playoffs and having a touchdown in every single playoff game. Not after him building chemistry with the quarterback when he finally has somebody to believe in him and he believes in himself. Not a quarterback that he has to build up. A quarterback that can build him up. That when he didn't get the touches and the receptions that he wanted, that he built him up throughout the game. So now that he finally has somebody to feel proud of at his quarterback position, somebody that has shown that he can be a high caliber quarterback in his very first year. Oh, man. He plays at a veteran level. Now you're telling me that now he's on the same page as his quarterback and his quarterback is on the same page as him. You telling me he don't deserve to be here for multiple years? He doesn't deserve a contract? Who knows? Next season, he could probably have the most receptions ever by a wide receiver in for the Commanders ever. Or next season, he could have the most receiving yards by a wide receiver by the Commanders ever. He could probably touch 1,500 yards just because of what they built last season. They barely scratched the surface of what they could do. And you telling me he doesn't deserve to get paid like a DK Metcalf, deserve to get paid like a AJ Brown, deserve to get more than Amar St. Brown, Amara St. Brown, whatever his name is. He deserves to get paid like him or even more. It's no way you're telling me that he just went to the Pro Bowl in his very first year with Jaden Daniels, that he don't deserve to be paid $30+ million. Think about if we take Terry out of this equation. What are the Commanders? What are we going to be if we don't have Terry in this equation? So, why do you feel like he doesn't deserve $30 million? I feel like he is one of those guys that is not selfish, that understands that, hey, I've made over a certain amount of millions and I'm comfortable with it, but I do deserve to be paid like a high caliber quarterback. No, I don't need to be Jamar Chase and deserve more than $40 million or $40 million at all. Right? I don't think that's Terry. That is not Terry. In my opinion, that is not Terry. Terry does not feel like he deserves that much, but he do deserve $30 million. And if you think about the people that have more than him, if we go down the list, let's start off with Jalen Waddle. We're talking about the top 10 highly paid wide receivers. And that includes Jamar Chase and T. Higgins now. So we're talking about Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle has $28 million, right, in his new contract. And he has not made it to the Pro Bowl. We have T. Higgins, hasn't made it to the Pro Bowl. I'm just talking about individual stats, not talking about team stats, talking about individual stats from that wide receiver and what we've seen and the money they've been given and how that can, compare to Terry McLaurin and what he deserves. And honestly, I feel like Terry deserves anywhere from 3 years to 4 years on a new deal. I feel like compared to what he's put out and compared to wide receivers later in their years that have played for the Commanders, in their early 30s, that's usually when they retire. That's usually when they start to decline. And if I'm talking about way back, probably 2010, when Santana Moss was here, his best year, his last best year, where he put up 1,000 yards, was in 2010. If we go way even further back, 1991, Art Monk, my boy was putting in 1,000 yards, his last 1,000-yard season. My man was old as dirt, still playing at 34. We ain't eating the same stuff. We ain't playing this. We ain't doing the same stuff that we did back in 1990. You know, you had guys playing into their early 40s, mid 40s, dirt, still putting up numbers. But nowadays, guys is done in their early 30s. So I can still see Terry playing in his 30s. I can still see Terry getting another extension. And that extension, I would say, to 33, 34, you know. I honestly would give him an extension for 3 years. And I would try to make that anywhere around what A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf have gotten. You know, DK has gotten $33 million with the Steelers. An extension of $33 million. So for the next, 3-4 years, he's going to be making $33 million. Right? Terry, he should be making the same. DK has gone to the Pro Bowl the same amount of times as him. They have the same amount of accomplishments. They're both in those 6,000 yards range, you know. So I feel like you still get the same amount of production from him. I'm gonna give it to you. I love Terry. He's likes that, but I haven't seen him get to those Jamar Chase numbers. I haven't seen him get to them Justin Field numbers. And you know why? I haven't seen him get to them CeeDee Lamb numbers. Talking about receiving yards. Talking about touchdowns. You know why? Because he hasn't had a proven quarterback. Jamar Chase has who? How did he become a Triple Crown winner? Because of Joe Burrow. How did Justin Fields get to where he was with his yards? Because he's a star. You know, okay, of course, he has Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball. Got it. He had Sam Darnold throwing him the ball. I understand that. But I know those are rusty, dusty people. Those are people that make it to the playoffs, lose the first round. But you got to think about what he's asked to do, what Terry is asked to do, and the amount of receptions that Terry is thrown, the amount of good balls thrown his way, the quarterbacks he's dealt with. The system is always changing for him. Always. Different OCs, different head coaches, different organizations around him. Now he finally has a stable organization, and you thinking he doesn't deserve 30 plus million? And he's shown what happens when you have a stable organization around him. When you have a stable quarterback. When he has a stable offense. Right? When you have guys that don't double team Terry. When you have guys that are on the team now. We're finally getting guys that can take the pressure off Terry. Terry has so much pressure on him to be that guy. So I want you guys to understand that, hey, look who Terry has to go up against. You know, I get it. You know, if we go down the list, let's go down the list real quick. Brandon Ayuk, 30 plus million, 0 Pro Bowls. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 3 Pro Bowls, 30 plus million. Okay, I understand that. But we're in that new age of money, and these guys deserve it. But A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf, 2 Pro Bowls, 3 Pro Bowls. A.J. Brown just got a Super Bowl, but he had got paid before the Super Bowl and before the Pro Bowl. So, before he got paid, he was 2 Pro Bowls. So, Terry deserves to be in that range. And I understand Terry is 29. I understand that. But DK is 27. I get it. But he still deserves it. Off his body of work, he deserves to be paid like those guys. He gives out the same production as those guys. And CeeDee Lamb, I get it. Four Pro Bowls, he's nasty with it. He's dangerous. Justin Jefferson, 4 Pro Bowls, he's nasty with it. He's dangerous as well. Jamar Chase, dangerous. 40 plus. Got it. And especially with him being a Triple Crown winner, that really put him above everybody else. 5 million above everybody else. But for what we have and the amount of time that we have before Jaden Daniels gets paid, this is perfect. This is a perfect slot. This is perfect timing for him to get that money. I get it, but this money is only going to be for 3 to 4 years. But it's perfect timing. I think we might end up paying Jaden early if Jaden gets us to the Pro Bowl again, or even the Super Bowl. I already see him, already getting that extension early. But it's perfect timing. And who other than Terry, who's been here for countless years, 6 years, and 5 of those years has been consecutive at getting 1,000 yards no matter what. Even if you want to count his first year, getting 900 yards, that still counts. He deserves it. And I don't see why not. Why shouldn't he be paid anywhere in that $30+ million bracket? So, in my opinion, I feel like he should get a 3-year extension, and he should be getting paid what DK is getting, 33. If not 33, 32. Nothing less, nothing more. I feel like he deserves it. He's played his heart out, and imagine what these guys can do with another year on their belt. And if we take out Terry, who do we have? Debo? Debo has shown that he can't perform unless he has another high caliber player on the team, like a Brandon Ayuk, like a Terry. Terry has to perform well, and he has to perform well. They both add to each other. So both of them being on the team allows them to play at a better pace, allow people to not double team them, to not target them as much. When you have to play and worry about everybody, that makes the offense even harder to guard, even harder to manage, even harder to contain. So you got to understand the impact that Terry brings to this team. And it's hard to hit on guys. And you see that Terry was a 3rd-round pick. It's hard to figure that out. It's hard to figure out just because guys are 1st-round draft picks don't mean anything. DK was a 2nd-round draft pick. A.J. Brown was a 2nd-round draft pick. It's hard to hit on those guys. So you can't just tell me that, I'm going to get rid of Terry after this year and trade him or give him up or just let him go, and we're going to just find that somewhere else. No, that's hard to do. And, of course, Diami had a breakout year last season, but that's not happening every season. And his breakout season was 300 yards with 1 touchdown in the regular season. So if we're going to do without Terry, imagine what that would do to our team. The offense won't be as productive. So imagine how important Terry really is. Think about how important he is. And within him playing his entire season, last 4 seasons, he has been productive. He has been there 17 game after 17 game. Been there. Last 4 seasons. Been there. And then with him playing 20 games last season. And then without him being there, what does that do to our offense? He's been there this whole entire time. And within all that time, he's only had 1 fumble. 6 seasons in the league, 1 fumble. I'm just talking, I'm sizing it, but I know he had 2 fumbles as a runner, as a running back, because I think it was the Ron Rivera era. But if we just void that, he's only had 1 fumble as a wide receiver, and that's crazy to even think about. So I want y'all to understand that he's valuable and he deserves to get paid as a Jaden Daniels. As a, what is that boy name? CeeDee Lamb, or as a DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown. He deserves to get paid like those guys. And they are rare. That's why everybody goes crazy when a DK Metcalf or any of these guys ever hit the market. And Tyreek Hill, he's got $30 million, but he got paid a while ago, and Tyreek Hill is one of those guys that's above everybody. And reason is because he's made it to the Pro Bowl every single year since he's been in the league, except last season, and that was because Tua was hurt. And Tyreek is deserving of it. And he's just dangerous. So it's just like, yo, if we talking about the top guys right now, Terry is one of them. And he deserves to get paid like one. And I'm out.